like 3 or 4 or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a family of 14 that no one would take in.
But they were heading
But they were
way
coming to Chicago.
very quickly.
And somebody had to take them. And somehow they decided to call the Barlow family and said, hey, will you...
They know our parents are crazy.
Yeah,
That's why.
they're insane. And they're like, hey, we've got a family of 14, like from like the grandmother of the family to like an infant. And will you take them in? And we had a very small house at the time, but we were like, yes, of course we will take in 14 people that we've never met before tomorrow. Absolutely. And so we just said yes. Our parents said yes, and they told us what we were doing. We're like, all right. And so it was amazing to see the miracles that happened when we just said yes, that we were going to be open to this experience.
And let me tell you too, this was at a time, my dad was in ministry all of our lives. This was at a time where we were so poor we would pray for God to multiply food. We would pray for God to provide clothes because we couldn't go out and buy those things that everybody else could. Do that, I'm not qualified. No, okay, God, I'm going to step out in faith and then watch you. Because if we can do it ourselves, then it's about us. But if he does it, then all of a sudden it's a miracle and it's a testimony. And then it encourages other people that, oh, he can do it again. If he can do it in your life, he can do it in my life.
All right, you're up. Yeah, it's in the umbrella.
Like that, like I just feel like there's just this hunger that I can't, there's this thirst inside of me that I can't quench for him the past 3 years. So I would say it's been just growing and growing, and so I think it's been a wonderful season for me and God.
For me, my biggest spiritual moment with God, or my biggest turning season, was I was a Broadway girl my whole life. Like, I've been a theater girl my whole life, and that's all I've done. Yes. And I've had my plans for my life, and I am a type A personality, and I know what I'm going to do. I've known what I was going to do since I was 4 years old, and nobody was going to get in my way. And when I was 18, I'd been doing theater up till that point, and I was totally overcommitted in way too many things. And God kept telling me to stop and to slow down, that he had a calling on my life. And I was like, no thanks. Take a rain check on that. No thank you. But thanks for asking. And kept pressing me and pressing me and pressing me. And I'm very, very stubborn. And so I just kept saying no. And one day I was tap dancing down our hardwood oak stairs.
That was smart.
I don't know why. I was trying to be Shirley Temple, and I fell and turned my ankle under, and after months of tests and x-rays and specialists, I was diagnosed with a disease called RSD, which is a nerve disease, and it damages your nerves, and pretty much your nerves kind of turn on themselves, and it's this chronic pain that spreads throughout your entire body. And I remember at 18 sitting in a specialist's office, and they wanted to clip the nerve on the back of my foot that instant. And I would have drop foot the rest of my life, and they told me I would never walk normally and I would be on painkillers the rest of my life. And at 18 years old, my career was over and my dreams were dead. And I went home and I told God he was mean and that he played a cruel trick on me and that I didn't want anything to do with him. And my parents and my family stood with me for months as I laid in a bed, totally crabby and totally angry, and for the first time a real Christian with real feelings and not perfect Alyssa anymore. And God exposed my heart and the reality of who I was and the reality of how much I would need him. And I remember he got me to the place of surrendering my life, and it took a lot, but he showed me that through love and through the love of my family. And I told him finally, I said, I'm yours. Even if I have to lay in a bed the rest of my life and praise you from this bed, I'm yours. And a few days later, he told me I was healed, and I put down my crutches, and I was. And it was crazy, and the doctors can't explain it. I'm not supposed to be walking. It's a total miracle. And that was the moment. I think it's awesome, too. But that was the moment I told God, if that's the kind of God you are, if you're that big, that one, you could change my heart, and two, you can cure an incurable disease. I thought the heart, to be honest, was actually harder for him to fix, in my opinion, than the foot. But I said, if that's the God you are, I will spend the rest of my life telling people who you are. I will spend the rest of my life, and I will stop building my house, and I will start building yours, and I will give my life for that. And so it changed me. I think I'm a totally different person.
You are. Yes.
I'm still type A and very driven.
Yes.
But now it's for different reasons, and it's more for him. So, yeah. Verse about what we're meant to be, and I think the fullness of who we are And I think as people, we still have yet to fully tap into that verse, and that's the goal of my life. I wanna really see that one lived out in my life.
Recently, God has been taking me a lot to Hebrews 11, which is all about, oh, sorry, I stole yours. We can share a brain. It's okay. We're sisters. But it's all about the great people of great faith back in the Bible days that just had to hold on to God's promise even when they didn't see it, and just keep trusting Him no matter what was going on in their life. And so that verse always brings me great strength and pushes me to have better faith.
Yeah, mine is the Isaiah 62, and then also, yeah, Hebrews 11. I love going back to that. It challenges me so much, because I think so often, I have faith for something, but really, as you read through the chapter, it just talks about they had faith in it even if it didn't come through in this life. And that really challenges me, because I think sometimes I'm like, God, but you promised this, and I thought it was going to happen, in 10 years. Well, it still hasn't happened, but to have that faith of, well, maybe it's not for this life, and I can still be encouraged and still have faith no matter what.